What is up, everybody? And Sente here, and today I'm going to continue a video on my pretty popular series called Tech Skill, where I show you guys very small snippets and small tools that you can use to better your Go game, like better shapes, better Tesujis, better fighting tactics, that can actually be used in a large number of situations and can give you another sort of attack tool to use when you're trying to improve as a Go player. So let me know if this is familiar to anybody. You're in some sort of Hane battle, right? And you know that Haneing at the head of two stones is a good thing to do and it's something you should do. And let's say you're playing black, and let's say you want to capture these two white stones right here, okay? So you're like, well, Hane at the head of two stones, I guess I should Hane. Then your opponent Hanes. Then you Hane. And your opponent Hanes. And now you want to Hane again to try to kill the stones. But then guess what? Now your opponent's cutting you. So now you're like, well, great. Now I have to extend. Maybe my opponent goes up. Then maybe you have to defend your stone, and then he goes in this direction. And then you go here, and then you go here, and then you try to do the same thing. And now you're in this really weird, stupid cut battle. You're super messy. There's weak groups everywhere. Your shape is broken. And it's just not a fun time. So I've got a tech skill that I learned about that could help fix a lot of those problems, and I'm going to show it to you. So let's get started. Okay, so here is the situation. We have this sequence, and it is black to move. So let's say you start out here to force white to try to capture. And now let's say black has to defend this ladder like so. And so here's the objective. Here's the objective. The objective is that you need to capture the black stones. We're playing white in this situation, and it is your job to try to capture these guys without getting captured yourself by these guys. So the question is, how do you do it? You can pause the video at any time to sort of think through variations, but I'm just going to go right along and start discussing, first off, how you don't do it. And what you don't do is Hane at the head of two stones. And the reason is black is going to Atari. You have no choice but to take. Now black pushes out, and now white's forced to crawl. Black crawls again, and white still cannot play this Hane, because if he does, black is going to turn around and countercut. If white tries to directly capture, obviously that doesn't work because black can just capture the cutting stones. So now white has to extend. But now guess what happens? Now black gets to cut here. So now white's going to go up. Now black's going to go up and threaten to do something against these stones, which means white has to do something to try to defend this. Unfortunately, now black could even entertain the ladder here, if the ladder works. Or if white decides to, obviously try to do this, this doesn't work, because then now we're just in another ladder. And if we assume all these ladders work, right, the cutting is actually really a terrible idea. White can try to play this, but now black is going to threaten to capture the entire thing. If white defends this group, black's going to clamp, and now those are all captured. If white does this, then black does this, and still those are captured. If white defends here, now black can ladder these stones and still get those stones out. So it seems like no matter which way you slice it, this Hane is actually a terrible idea. So the question is, if Haneing at the end of two stones is not a good idea, then what is? What do you do? So it turns out that the correct answer is actually the small knight's move. So if white plays this, white unconditionally captures all of the black stones. And here's why. What this does is that it does not force black to Atari this white stone and force a response from you getting shape strength to crawl here. What the knight's move does is it starts to surround without forcing black into that Atari sequence. Additionally, if black tries to escape, he is hitting his head on this stone and reducing his own liberties, right? Now black is not ahead of white. Actually, white becomes ahead of black by one more coordinate. And black can't Hane here because that is simply game. So let's say black throws this Atari right away. Well, obviously white has to go. And now let's say black plays its strongest response, which is to try to do the one space attach here. White has a really, really amazing Tsuji lined up thanks to this small knight move. White can actually just extend. And if white extends and black passes, now white has this very strong move, which separates the black stones. Black can't cut because that's self-Atari. Black tries to go under, white's just like, fine. And then captures the entire lot. So what is black's next strongest response? Well, the best thing for black to do would be to try to connect and try to win the capturing race. However, white can now Hane without fear, because if black cuts like they did before, white can extend, and now this group of white stones is so much stronger than it was before. Now it's connected. It's 3 stones plus a diagonal instead of 2 stones disconnected by a diagonal. White actually might be able to just start the capturing race here. If black wants to play this and then play this, white's actually still ahead by 1 liberty and can just capture. So if we take it back, how is the Hane again? How is the Hane different from just the knight's move? So again, if you Hane, this leaves a critical shape weakness right here. And then once black makes this move, you have to respond and then makes this move. Now there's 2 cutting points here and here. These 2 cutting points are brutal for capturing the white stones and giving black the opportunity to escape. But if you play the knight's move, like this, you have this great connection to Tsuji, which stops any black shenanigans. Black has to connect, and now there's only 1 cutting point versus 2. And you can handle 1 cutting point because these stones are very low on liberties. So what if black decides actually to extend here instead of connecting? Well, when we play this shape move that we had talked about earlier, black has to connect. We fill. Black has to play here because it's an Atari. Now we get this move in for free, right? First we can throw in here Atari. Black fills. We get this move for free. Black fills. Now white has this incredibly brutal 1 space jump. This 1 space jump actually prevents black from escaping. And we actually net black, and then we capture the entire thing. Now you might say, well, what if black decides to play this strongest move, and now black actually wins the capturing race, like so? Well, white actually has another Tsuji in the back pocket. White actually has this move, which allows black to makes black require 1 more move to connect here before filling in, which means that once black blocks, white can begin the capture. Black can play this because white just captures, so black has to defend first. Now white actually wins the capturing race by 1 move and captures all of the black stones. This knight's move is actually a really cool Tsuji, has some really great shape lessons, and is able to surround black without creating as many cutting points as we had seen before. So I thought this was a really cool problem. I really liked this Joseki Tsuji thing, and I hope that you guys can use it in your games to try to get out of that Hane trap close to the edge where they cut you back, and then it's just a complete mess with people extending all over the place. So yeah, hope you liked it, and I will see you guys on the grid. Till later. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitch and Twitter to catch all the latest news and updates for streaming times and videos. Additionally, check my Patreon to sign up for awesome rewards like monthly game reviews, SGF files, and an opportunity to play a game with me in my stream. Links are in the description below.